Imagine waking up tomorrow and diesel fuel no longer exists. Every truck, ship, generator, and construction machine suddenly can't run. The world doesn't just slow down, it stops. But what would actually happen if diesel was banned overnight? Would it save the planet or destroy the economy before it even has a chance? Let's find out. Diesel isn't just a fuel, it's the backbone of civilization. Every product you see in a store, every package that arrives at your door, and every container that crosses an ocean was powered by diesel somewhere along the way. Over 95% of global freight trucks use diesel engines. Trains? Mostly diesel electric. Ships? The biggest ones run on bunker fuel, a dirtier cousin of diesel. Even backup power for hospitals and data centers, diesel generators. So if diesel disappeared tomorrow, transport systems would collapse in days. Supermarkets would empty out within a week. Construction projects would halt. And global trade, the thing that keeps prices stable and goods available, would go silent. It sounds dramatic, but that's how dependent we really are. To understand why banning diesel would cause chaos, you have to understand what makes it so special. Diesel fuel contains more energy per liter than gasoline, around 15% more. That means trucks can go farther on less fuel, making it ideal for long-haul operations. Diesel engines are also incredibly efficient and durable. They can run for 1,000,000 kilometers or more, handling massive torque loads without failure. That's why they dominate heavy transport. Torque is what moves 40 tons, not horsepower. And here's the key. No other widely available fuel offers the same mix of energy density, efficiency, and availability. That's what makes an overnight ban nearly impossible. Let's play out the scenario. Day 1. Refineries stop distributing diesel. Fuel stations run dry within hours. Truck fleets grind to a halt. Farmers can't harvest or deliver crops. Public buses stop. Emergency services might have reserves for a few days, but after that, even ambulances and fire trucks could be stranded. Airports? Still running. Jet fuel isn't diesel, but good luck getting luggage trucks or catering vehicles to move. By week 2, shelves are bare, and the global supply chain is shattered. Factories that depend on truck deliveries stop production. Millions lose their jobs. Not because there's no work, but because there's no transport to get to work. And while the environment might see a short-term drop in emissions, the human cost would be catastrophic. The economic impact of a diesel ban would be enormous. Transportation costs would skyrocket overnight. Every industry that depends on diesel, logistics, mining, construction, shipping, would suffer massive losses. It's estimated that over 10% of global GDP relies directly on diesel fuel for daily operations. So the knock-on effect wouldn't just be fuel prices, it would be everything. Food, electronics, building materials, all would surge in cost. In fact, a total ban could push many developing nations into economic collapse, since they lack infrastructure for alternatives. So, while the idea of banning diesel might sound eco-friendly, in reality, it would cause one of the largest economic crises in modern history. Now, let's say we didn't ban diesel overnight, but phased it out responsibly. What could replace it? The most talked about alternative, electric trucks, are clean and efficient, but still face huge challenges. Batteries are heavy. A long-haul truck would lose payload capacity. Charging takes hours, not minutes. And the infrastructure just isn't there yet. In short, great for city deliveries, but not ready for cross-country hauls. Hydrogen trucks could be the closest thing to diesel. They refuel quickly, have long range, and only emit water vapor. But hydrogen is expensive to produce and requires an entirely new refueling network. Plus, most hydrogen today is made from natural gas, which defeats the purpose environmentally. This one's interesting. Biodiesel can run in many existing engines, with minor changes, and it's made from renewable sources like vegetable oils or waste fats. Synthetic diesel, made from captured carbon and green hydrogen, could even be carbon neutral. But the catch? Production is still small scale and expensive. We'd need a massive ramp up to replace even a fraction of current diesel use. So, while alternatives exist, none can truly replace diesel overnight, not without years of transition. Let's say diesel is banned, and everyone magically switches to electric or hydrogen. Would it solve the climate crisis? Not entirely. Here's why. Diesel engines are dirty. They emit nitrogen oxides and fine particulates, but modern ones are far cleaner than people think. Euro 6 and EPA 2027 standards have cut emissions by over 95% compared to the 1990s. So if we banned diesel without having clean alternatives ready, we'd still need to burn something, coal, gas, or oil, to generate the electricity that powers those replacements. In other words, the pollution just moves from the exhaust pipe to the power plant. The real environmental win comes from making cleaner diesel or renewable diesel, not banning it entirely. If diesel fuel ever gets phased out, it will be slow and strategic, not sudden. Here's the likely timeline. Short term, next 10 years, hybrid and biodiesel trucks become more common. Midterm, 10 to 25 years, hydrogen and electric take over city and regional routes. Long term, 25 plus years, synthetic fuels or zero-emission systems replace diesel entirely. It's not about banning diesel tomorrow, it's about building the infrastructure to make it unnecessary in the first place. And that's already happening. Major truck manufacturers like Volvo, MAN, Daimler, and Tesla are all developing electric and hydrogen trucks. Countries like Norway and the Netherlands have set phase-out targets for new diesel sales by the 2030s. But even then, millions of older diesel trucks will still be running decades later, especially in developing nations. So the final goodbye to diesel? That could take half a century. If diesel were banned tomorrow, the world would fall into chaos. But over time, we'll find smarter, cleaner ways to move freight and power industry. Diesel won't vanish overnight. It'll evolve into something better, whether that's electric, hydrogen, or synthetic fuels. The goal isn't to erase what works, but to make it work cleaner. So the next time you hear about banning diesel, remember, it's not the enemy. It's the fuel that built our world, and the stepping stone to the one we're building next. If you found this interesting, you'll love my deep dive on how modern diesel engines got so clean. Don't forget to subscribe, because next week we're looking at how trucks could run on air instead of fuel.